Hello, everybody, and welcome to Theory into Practice. Today, I am pleased to be joined by Isamar Garcia. She is an aspiring emergency manager, and I can't really say that anymore because she has got a job in emergency management, which is very awesome. But now one of the things I would love to touch on is in her LinkedIn, it says inspiring the aspiring emergency manager, which is amazing. That's one of the things that I want to do with the podcasting and the summits and everything that I do is wanting to inspire the emergency management professional. Well, we have an aspiring emergency manager return to emergency management and is now inspiring aspiring emergency managers, if that makes sense to everybody. So welcome, Isamar.
Thank you. Thank you, Dan.
Well, Isamar, I wanted to bring you on the show and have this conversation with you for many reasons, but one is how impressed I am with your passion for emergency management, which we don't see a lot in someone your age coming into such an early profession of emergency management. And you've kind of made it so that you have chosen emergency management to be your career path, which is unusual. Usually it's a second career path, third career path, or you just kind of stumble into it. You've chosen emergency management. Tell me a little bit about why you've made that choice.
Yeah, for sure. So I actually was in a geology program for my bachelor's, and I guess I'd have to give a little bit more of a backstory. What fueled me to go into emergency management was actually watching a video in my earthquakes and volcanoes course at CSU Stanislaus in geology program, and we were watching a video regarding a volcano incident, and like you could just see what was going on. They were handling the incident. It was great at that time. It was just a volcano thing, right? So I was like, whoa, that's impressive. And I'm just watching everything, how everyone's coordinating, everyone's in communication with each other, they're taking precautions of things, and just how intricate almost like the dance, they were turning chaos into coordination, and it was just beautiful. Everything was so organized. There was actually order to the chaos, and that was just like, whoa, I need to do that. So it was a hard left turn from geology into emergency management. As I learned more and gained more knowledge about what the field actually does, what it entails, how it differs from first response to the management side, and finding more mentors, the more my curiosity just kept growing. And the more I learned, the less I understood. So I had to continue to know more. And that's essentially how I ended up in emergency management. It was just like I found kinship in other individuals who were just like, ooh, disasters. So yeah.
Well, one of the things that really draws me to your path is the way in which you approached entering the field of emergency management and the way you did it. And a lot of it was volunteering of your time, which ultimately a lot of people don't want to do. And I say this in almost every podcast episode, that your time is your most valuable asset. And when you choose to give that to somebody, that means a lot. It's very valuable. And you've chosen to into many different organizations, which we'll talk about shortly, donate your time and give your time so that you could be around emergency management, emergency managers, and learning and absorbing that. So let's talk about that and what drove you to volunteer your time versus try to go straight into a job.
Yeah, of course. So I was actually told to go in by other mentors, just go into a secretary position in the government. You'll get your way into emergency management that way. And I was like, nope, that's not for me. I already know it's not. And I could just feel it. I know that it was like, I can't be at a desk job. I need to just grind it out and be a part of the field. So I took every opportunity that I could. I, volunteer as tribute type of thing. And I went for it. And I was actually, a lot of good came out of COVID for me, because when everyone was responding and essentially taking care of the world, a lot of things fell by the wayside. And that's where I was able to volunteer the most. Like, you know what, I have time. I was unemployed because a lot of people lost their jobs. I being one of them. I used to be a secretary at a metal manufacturing company. just a regular job, and trying to take trainings and trainings. And then COVID happened, and that was my perfect opportunity to volunteer my time full time to various organizations. And she's like, you got an initiative, I got the time, I'll do it, let me do it. Like, just, I'm right here, I'm ready to take it. And I would constantly do informational interviews. I networked on LinkedIn like crazy. Networking was my full-time job. Volunteering was my full-time job. I obviously that was my time, that was my money, right? So, but it's paid in dividends, like just being able to meet the individuals and volunteer with the different organizations that I'm involved with. That's CESA, so California Emergency Services Association, IAEM Region 9, International Association of Emergency Managers. There's AEMO, Aspiring Emergency Managers Online, in partnership with EMGI, so the Emergency Management Growth Initiative. There's just a lot of opportunities that came up to volunteer, and there are many aspiring who want to get in the field, or as much drive, and they're so tenacious and they just need the opportunity. And it just so happened that I was able to volunteer for all of them, and I took the bait.
Yeah, COVID did, it brought with it an opportunity for emergency management to kind of step into the limelight. And if an emergency manager took advantage of that in the right way, they came out on the other end a whole lot better, a whole lot more experienced, and a whole lot more open-minded when it comes to what we do. And you took advantage of that. And what I would like to ask you, what was the outcome of that? Where are you now? What are you doing? And how has it affected what you are doing?
So, whoa, that's a lot of questions.
Yeah. Let's start with, where are you now?
Where am I now? I am now the emergency services planner with Yolo County. That's my government job. I also do consulting on the side for CSTI, the California Specialized Training Institute. I do consulting on the side for social media with other consulting firms within the response atmosphere or environment. With volunteering is something that I'm still actively doing, just because there's so much of a passion. There's so many like-minded people. I just wanting to do good for being good. So I'm involved with CESA as the Public Affairs Committee Chair. I'm also involved with IAEM Region 9 as the Public Affairs Director. And then I'm volunteering my time with AEMO as a project manager / co-founder.
So some of the these organizations you volunteer for, I volunteer for as well, which is great to have you being able to partner with you and learn from you as well. I'm learning just as much from you as you're learning from me as it relates to marketing and public affairs and how we deal with people. Some people call me grumpy. I'm not all that grumpy, but I look grumpy. But let's talk about how everything that led up to the job has helped you in your job.
It really is about project management. I guess having to coordinate different timelines, different demands, different deliverables for various organizations with different prerogatives, with different messages that they want to convey to the community. The project management scope, as my position within OES as a planner, has really helped navigate my position. One of my interview questions was, how do you do well with competing priorities? Like, well, I do that all the time right now, actually. You just got to list them all out, figure out what's your timeline, your deadlines, what's pressing, what's not as pressing. But I think it's the coordination. The other aspect is the relationship management, which leads into, leadership presence and being able to have communications as a core competency as an emergency management professional is really, really important. I'm talking to multiple entities, multiple jurisdictional stakeholders, and having the wherewithal to know who you're talking to, how to communicate, that speaks volumes as well. So a lot of the volunteering and just coordination as well as communicating to other committees or executive directors that has really translated into benefiting my position now.
Well, that's a big point. I mean, communication in itself is a skill, a very valuable skill, and one that if you hone it right and you apply it correctly, can take you a long way. Um, let's round out this interview with asking this question. So you went from an aspiring emergency manager to an emergency manager who is inspiring aspiring emergency managers. So as an emergency manager, what are you aspiring for this career to take you?
Oh, I'm aspiring to still be an emergency manager. I mean, I'm at the planner position. It's all entry level. So technically I'm still an aspiring. We have, as an aspiring, I think it's like 0 to 2 years. So you pre-job entry to 2 years in, like you're still very much learning the ropes and trying to understand what's going on within your jurisdiction, or trying to understand what's going in your own office for that matter, what tools and resources you have. So it's very much still aspiring, and I am still learning day by day. But yeah, I'm still aspiring to be the emergency manager. That'd be the dream.
Very good to hear. And if I can help you on your journey, please let me know. It was getting to know you, meeting you in general was a treat, and then being able to help you along the road. I mean, watching you go to IAEM without having a job per se, and learn from everybody and just be a sponge and just soak it up and volunteer your time, and everything that's presented to you is inspiring in itself. And that's ultimately, it can run you down. So I'm going to caution you there a little bit. But most of the stuff that you volunteer for, I volunteered too. So I need to kind of talk to myself in the mirror a little bit about that. But
we'll work on it together.
Yeah, we'll do work together. We'll keep each other accountable. We're accountable buddies on that.
There you go.
But I have no doubt you're going to be a great emergency manager. You do great things. You're very competent. And like I said, I've learned as much from you as you've learned from me, if anything,
likewise.
at that point.
No, likewise,
I
definitely.
look forward to continuing on our working relationship and helping you grow and growing myself. And I just wanted to thank you for taking the time to be here with me today on this podcast, and to let everybody hear your experiences, and how can somebody, if they want to reach out to you, do so.
Oh, definitely LinkedIn. LinkedIn is the way to network. So that'll be just go into LinkedIn and type my name, Isamar Garcia, and you'll be able to find me that way. I'm also available. My Gmail is listed on there. My email is listed on my LinkedIn as well, but LinkedIn will be the way to go.
All right. For all those listening, I will share that information in the show notes as well. So you'll have that if you happen to be driving down the road. You could just go into the show notes and I'll have that contact information with her permission. So thank you so much for taking the time to talk to me on theory into practice. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we are going to focus our discussion on leadership and how it can better be applied in emergency management, but how aspiring emergency managers can incorporate leadership in how they approach emergency management, but more than that, how they lead up.